Welcome to TNTM, the show's lore, which is about me telling you about my past, my history leading up to and how TNTM, the show, became a thing. Last, I was talking about video games and how that ties in with friends. So now I want to talk about my amigos. Starting with obviously Marvin Goof, which I've probably mentioned in the past, but I'm going to mention again. Has been friends. I've been friends with Marvin Goof since grade school, elementary school, pretty much ever since my family moved from Los Alamos to Rio Rancho. I feel like we've been friends. So being into video games, being into nerdy stuff, X-Men, Star Wars, Star Trek, we've been friends this entire time. Like I said, since grade school all the way to now. Into high school, I had a group of friends that we had like our own little crew of X-Men, and that was great. It was we had our own Logan Wolverine because he was like this short, stocky, kind of rough, gruff guy that liked to drink. So he was definitely our Logan. And then we had Jean Grey, but she looked more like the ultimate Jean Grey, short hair, which was Amber. I do believe we had a rogue, which was Kyle, because she had the hair going on. I do believe her and her family were from the South, so she kind of had a little bit of that twinge twang. We had this guy too, where he could pop his shoulders, which was kind of gross but kind of cool, and so we called him Archangel, which he should have just been Angel, but Archangel is just so much cooler than just plain Angel. Even though like the actual wings look so beautiful in comparison to like the metal wings, but the metal wings look really cool. And then the blue skin too, like that looked really cool too. Guys with blue skin are just the coolest. Which I was Nightcrawler because I was obsessed with Nightcrawler, especially after the X-Men movie came out. And just, I really was, and I was a devout Catholic boy for a long time. And I had the hair even. I had like the long hair that he had in X-Men Evolution. I would even run down the halls like Nightcrawler. I was such a weirdo and a freak that I would legit do that. I kind of wish I could still do that. I think I have. I do sometimes when I do the pretend monkey for my kids. I did the accent and everything. And it was such a great time to be like, I was into the X-Men. I think Amber's the one that like, she brought some X-Men comics to school and I was just obsessed. And of course, there was the cartoon and the movies and stuff. So it was like the greatest time to be an X-Men fan, which is funny because like those movies weren't even. I feel like the second one really top notch. First one okay. Third one First Class was solid. Days of Future Past easily the best and even better than the graphic novel Fight Me. So much potential there. Hopefully, we'll see coming up in Doomsday and going forward what they're going to do. But X-Men 97 making a return. Oh my God, that was the greatest thing ever. And then how I got to know Slay J was he was a jock. He was into baseball, football, basketball, all that stuff. As far as I know, he played all of it. I think he hurt his knee or something like that. So then he transitioned over to acting slash drama, and that is how we met. I can't recall specifically like if it was just like him in acting class because I don't even remember specifically having acting class with him. But what I do remember is that they had initiations for thespians. And so they would go to your house at like, I don't even know what time it was, but it was dark still. And they would wake you up. They would like scream and terrify you and wake you up. And then they would get you dressed in these crazy costumes. They'd have you do like a song and dance throughout the day. Like if someone said like a code word or phrase, then you would have to do this thing. And so I do believe we were indoctrinated together, inducted together. And so he was, like I said, he was a jock, but then like he was like, yeah, I'm really into Daredevil. He was always like, that's Daredevil is my favorite, in X-Men and stuff. And so I just feel like I was kind of like an open channel for him to be a nerd, and to be like a safe space, as well as kind of like just the drama geeks, drama nerds, period. But the thing that I remember most, though, is that for our origin story, is that there was a thespian trip to Nebraska. I annoyed the ever living crap out of him. I think maybe just in general, leading up to that point, and then like on that bus trip to Nebraska, I just annoyed the crap out of him. And I think we really both hated each other. And we were dreading, we're like, because once we got there, they're like, you're in the dorms. And we're like, I hope we're not together. I hate that guy. Both of us felt the same way. And so we were bunked together. And then we were just up late talking one night about Conan O'Brien, and music. And then our friendship just blossomed after that. We were best friends. It was like we did karate in the garage and stuff. And then I think I knew of, or I maybe had met the ambassador in high school, but I don't think I knew him that well. As far as I think he was like a band geek, as well as Marvin Goof and Faye. So that was that. We'll get more into friendship, the power of friendship. No, amigos, amigas. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, my fellow nerds and amigos. Check out our merch at TNTM, the store, where you can find this merch on sale with free shipping. 5% of any profit they make goes to a charity for the month. So help us help them.